Welcome back and welcome to Vlogmas Day 21. Today's video is going to serve if you are really stuck for a Christmas present still, or a Hanukkah present, or a birthday present. It's my birthday on Friday, I don't know if I'd mentioned that, for somebody, and you're still really stuck. I really want to talk about a book that I push on everybody. Literally, when we're out and about, if I see people looking at this book, I will go and I will talk to them about it. If I hear people talking about this book, I will go and strike up a conversation with them because I just think it's an amazing book, and that book is Wonder by RJ Palacio. And I wanted to talk to you kind of about my Wonder experience and why I love Wonder so much. So basically, if I mean, the little blurb on the back here that says, don't judge a book by its cover, but it's like, don't judge a boy by his face. Basically, if I just read you the blurb from the inside of the dust jacket here. August Augie Pullman was born with a facial deformity that prevented him from going to a mainstream school, until now. He's about to enter 5th grade at Beecher Prep, and if you've ever been the new kid, you know how hard it can be. The thing is, Augie's just an ordinary kid with an extraordinary face. But can he convince his new classmates that he's just like them, despite his appearance? That really doesn't do the book justice. This book, I read it as an adult, and then I've read it with 3 or 4 classes of children. I can't even remember, I've lost count. Basically, if I teach you in a year, you'll read this book with me at some point, whether it's as a guided reading book, whether I tell you to read the book, whether we read the book together, we'll read this at some point. Also, like I said, I push this book on people because the message in this book is just so amazing. This book was the theme for Anti-Bullying Week in the UK, like 2 years ago. They had a massive push on Anti-Bullying Week, and they had a hashtag which was #ChooseKind, and #ChooseKind is always above the door of my classroom, either the entrance or the exit of my classroom or my office, wherever I happen to be working at that time, because I just think it is such a nice message, and it's such a message that children have to hear and have to be reminded of, and people have to hear and have to be reminded of. And in the kind of time that we're living right now, just #ChooseKind is an amazing message. So this book is about August and about his adventures and his friendship and his family and him and his development as he goes to school. There are a couple of amazing teachers in this book, which, you know, being a teacher, I absolutely loved reading about the teachers. And reading this as an adult as well, it's interesting to kind of listen to and think about things from his family's point of view as well as just from his point of view. A lot of what I talk about with the children is how kind of other characters in the book will sort of perceive him as well as his development over the course of the book. And I mean, I don't really want to say too much about the storyline itself, because if you read about the blurbs or read the blurbs on any of the editions of this book, they're very vague, and they're very vague for a reason. And there aren't pictures of August, there aren't, you know, major descriptions of him. There are descriptions in part, and you kind of piece the image of him together. But what you really learn about August is how sort of kind and accepting he is, and you know, the way he builds relationships with other people. The great thing about this book is that there have subsequently been spin-offs from it which kind of carry a similar message. The first spin-off that came out was there was lots of paperbacks reissued with this story in the back, and that was the Julian chapter. Julian is one of the people at August's new school, and we get to sort of see him and what makes him him and what makes him do the things that he does during this book in the Julian chapter. And again, I've read that with groups of children as well, and a few of them kind of came off liking the Julian chapter almost more, and lots of them said you shouldn't have this book without having read the Julian chapter. So I totally recommend reading them both together. But like I say, lots of the new editions of this one have the Julian chapter in anyway. And then there's another spin-off called Pluto, which is about August's friend Christopher. And then there's another spin-off called Shingling, which is about 2 of the girls who go to August school as well. And each of those focus on those main characters rather than August, but obviously you get that same message in there. They also came out with a book that was 365 Days of Wonder, because there's a teacher in this book called Mr. Brown, and he has these precepts, and they're all to do with, you know, ways to live and better living and things like that. And he gets the students to send him postcards with precepts over the vacation, and sort of come up with precepts over the course of the year. And 365 Days of Wonder are little inspirational quotes and inspirational statements and things like that, that are just, you know, you might look at one for a particular day, or you might look for one on a particular theme, and there are 365 of them because it's one for every day of the year. I've actually lost my copy of that, which I'm gutted about, because the publishers very kindly sent me a copy of that, and I think I ended up leaving it in school when I left, which is rubbish. I might see if someone can seek it out for me, but that's another kind of spin-off from Wonder. And this book just has so much value. Obviously it's a middle grade book, so it's going to be a quick read, so if you're thinking about picking it up and kind of swithering either way, definitely something you should be picking up. Definitely something to read to kind of restore your faith in human beings, and something that you could read with family over the kind of festive period if you've got sort of holidays at this time as well. It's nice and quick. I mean, it looks like a thick book, but it's big print, and I kind of read it all in an afternoon. It's quite the quick read. So there are my thoughts on Wonder. It's one of my kind of favourite books of all time. I've lost count of how many times I've read it now, just because I've read it with so many different groups of children and pushed it on different groups of children. I've not read all of the spin-offs with them, but I have sort of lent my Kindle for them to be able to read the spin-offs and kind of discussed it with them as well. But definitely something that you should be picking up, no matter how old, what kind of book you like reading. Definitely an awesome gift to give a child, a teenager, an adult, a teacher, somebody who's, you know, not, you know, got any children. It's perfect for everyone. It's just such a good book. Okay, now that I've ranted about Wonder enough, I will leave you. I will have another video for you tomorrow, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye.